Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Steve Keefe, and I'm the broker-owner of Coldwell Banker Skyridge Realty, located here in Lake Arrowhead, California, and in Big Bear, California. We service the market area between Crestline all the way up to Big Bear. And often I hear people say things like, realtors are all the same, and there isn't much of a difference between realtors. You don't really need to have a good realtor. This slide here gives a good illustration of what could happen if you don't have the right realtor working for you. And a realtor is someone who is going to help you navigate through the transaction. And in particular here in California, there's a lot of pitfalls. There are a lot of things that can go wrong. And everybody thinks a realtor is just somebody that helps somebody buy a house or find a house. There's much more to it. A realtor is the person that sort of quarterbacks the transaction, hopefully to a successful close. Hopefully that closing doesn't look anything like this train getting off the tracks. So what is it that you should be looking for when you're trying to find a good realtor? There's some qualities that I'm going to talk about. The first one being that realtor has got to be an expert. They need to be someone who knows their stuff, knows how to navigate through all the pitfalls that can come up in a transaction, and has the tools and the technology available to them to help you get the information you need to make the best decisions. Because there are going to be some very important decisions that have to be made throughout the process of the transaction. So you need to have a realtor who knows what they're doing, has access to all the tools and information that you're going to need to make sure that you make those good decisions. It's not always that age or time in the business is that critical. I mean, we've got some very young agents who have done an outstanding job getting to that expert status. Everybody's got to start somewhere, I get it. And you may have that good friend or that family member who just got their real estate license, and you want to give them a shot. You want to have them help you with the real estate transaction. And all I can say to that is you just better be prepared, because they don't know what they don't know. In most instances, it takes quite a few transactions to be able to get yourself to a point where you've got a level of expertise that's going to help that client stay out of trouble. People don't realize that there are a lot of things that can happen in a real estate transaction. There's a lot of things that can happen after the real estate transaction that can be very bad for both buyers and sellers. And if you've got an inexperienced agent working for you, you've got a much higher probability that those bad things could happen. So it's very important to make sure that you have someone who is going to protect you. I understand you want to have your family member or your friend help you, but at the end of the day, you need to have an expert. You need someone who is going to take care of you and make sure that you navigate through the transaction and get to a successful close. Lastly, the agents that are going to best serve you are not pretending. Okay? They are in the business. They are serious about it. They don't have a side gig doing something different. They are focused on their real estate business 24/7. Those are the agents that are going to be able to stay on top of everything new that's happening. They're going to make sure that the transaction is going to go smoothly, and they are fully engaged in the business. They are not somebody who's doing it part-time. You can only imagine if you were going flying and you were going to go with a pilot, you were going to fly in their plane, and they flew 1 or 2 times a year. You have real estate agents, you have people that have licenses, that's what they do. They do 1 or 2 transactions a year, and there's just no way that you can stay on top of what you need to stay on top of if you're doing that kind of volume. You as a seller or you as a buyer need someone who is fully engaged in the business, that isn't pretending, that is a full-time real estate professional. If you're looking for the best experience in your real estate transaction, you need to make sure that you're working with an expert. You want to make sure that they're a local, and you want to make sure that they're not pretending. They are somebody who is fully engaged in the business. And if you do so, there's a good chance you're going to end up with your transaction looking like this. Or you'll find yourself sailing off into the sunset with less worry that something's going to come back and get you, or having to deal with some other nightmare situation in the transaction. Working with the right agent will make that transaction go much smoother, and you will have less liability in the future. So make sure you choose to work with someone who knows what they're doing. Who you work with matters. If you choose the right agent, you're going to end up with good results. If you need help in the mountain communities, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be happy to put you in touch with one of my top producing agents. Have a great one. Thanks for listening.